EV market in the last few weeks has seriously taken a hit, absolutely tanked. So we're going to take a brief look at why, but I thought it was a great opportunity to look at the 10 EV stocks I bought ages ago and how well they're doing right now. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you haven't already, I urge you to subscribe to the channel because you'll get plenty more content like this and you won't miss out on any future uploads at all. And while you're there, give the video a like or wait until you've watched the video, enjoyed it, and then like the video because you like it. Pop a comment down below as well what your plans are in the EV space, what you're going to get into, what the plan moving forward. Are you expecting some growth from that EV space? And it's now a great time to jump in. As it happens, as of filming this today, Tesla I think has absolutely rocketed again on some great sales figures over in China, I believe. So we might be seeing a rebound already. I'm going to get straight into there today because it'll be a longer video. We'll have a brief look at a couple of articles as to what was happening in the EV space to give you some context. And then we'll have a look at the portfolio. We'll look at all 10 EV stocks that I bought probably a couple of months ago, a little bit over that, 2.5 months ago. And we'll just look at how they're performing now as a little update. First of all, apology that the lighting is not as good. My fiance has just decided to change every single bulb to yellow bulbs rather than the white, pure, modern, crisp bulbs we had in before. I don't know why. She seems to prefer it, but I'm gonna get, if she watches this, I'm gonna get probably beaten, but I don't think she watches my video, so I think I'm probably safe. In fact, I might just keep pushing the envelope with that and seeing what I can get away with. Anyway, so I'm gonna start in this article here in Market Watch. Just gonna go over this, which is the reason why the EV space has started to dip more recently. The EV stock slump has been largely caused by the more general risk-off mood in markets, the general sell-off in the market, compounded by sales weakness in the key Chinese market in January. So weak sales figures coming out has compounded the general sell-off in the market, and that's the reason behind the whole EV space sell-off really. But we've got loads of EV stocks selling off at the moment, Tesla being one of the main ones. Let's take a quick look at this. This is on Barron's. Stock in EV makers is worth about $1 trillion, down from its $1.4 trillion back in early January. Tesla accounts for about 70% of the decline. That makes sense, as Tesla accounts for about 75% of the total market cap of EV makers, and that makes sense. Now take a second to go and watch one of my videos. I'll tag it in the top there. It's Tesla being a bubble. It's analyzing an article on Seeking Alpha about the future of Tesla and how it's overvalued and their idea on what Tesla's value should be. I'm not saying I agree with it, I'm just going through the article, but it's quite compelling. So head up and watch that because you might find that interesting. And if that is the case, I think they ended up valuing Tesla closer to $300 or something. If that is the case, and Tesla is massively overvalued and there's going to be a huge sell-off on Tesla, a lot of the other EV makers will follow suit. And of course, if Tesla does account for 75% of the total market cap in the EV makers, that will have a huge impact on the EV space as a whole. One thing I want to show you here, if you go on to Financial Times, they have a live Google sheet. I can't find it now. Where's it gone? So they've got a live Google sheet. Now I've opened that up. It's right here. And it gives you the decline of all the EV makers and EV components, parts, add-ons, chargers, bits and pieces involved in the EV space, and it gives you a percentage, the percentage down from its 52-week high. And as you can see, I mean, it's just all red, which is just scary, and how red they are. And then if you've got the traditional, what they call them, legacy auto makers that are in the EV space, and these guys are nowhere near, haven't taken nearly as much of a hit. Now this kind of demonstrates that the legacy automakers are actually far more fairly valued than a lot of the EV companies. Now I think with the EV companies, you're looking at future earnings and you're expecting very high growth rates. But if someone like Renault is the highest selling EV manufacturer in Europe, and they're a legacy automaker, and they've been around for years and years and years, it seems to me that they are far more fairly valued, and it looks as if all these hype stocks, and I just say now, this is why these 10 EV stocks I got into was just an experiment. I wasn't fully in it. I wasn't thinking, right, this is going to be the future. I think they probably will, but I wasn't jumping on the hype bandwagon. I think a lot of these are purely, I mean, look at Nikola, 83% down from its 52-week high. You know, is it a bubble? Was it just hype? Why were they valued? Why was the share price so high? Did it genuinely warrant it? If it did, genuinely warrant the 52-week high of $92. If it genuinely warranted that, why are we at 15 now? Like, it wouldn't. Stocks don't move, shouldn't move that fiercely in that amount of time, unless they are hype, serious growth stocks, in which case you want to be growing them in the other direction. But the fact is, they're overvalued. Nissan's the only one that's got into 10% down from its 52-week high, and even that's quite scary, 10%. So anyway, that's interesting. So head to Financial Times, head to this article. You've got the live Google sheet there. You can open it up. Obviously, it's view only, and you can just take a look at these figures. But they're quite scary, really. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get into the actual stocks that I've bought. I'm going to run through these super quick because I don't want this video to go on forever. So let's take a look at Tesla first. I was already in Tesla. This wasn't part of the experiment. We got down to $550 odd. If you bought in any around here in this dip, look at what's happened today. You've done a fantastic job there. I mean, obviously that's just on some very good news, but yeah, quite astonishing move today. Let's go through them. Let's try and not miss any of them. So heading down here, we have the very first EV stock is Fisker. We are 40% up. We own 8 shares of Fisker, currently at $22.30, and we're 40% up, £36. I put about £100 in each of these stocks, roughly, so just under there. So we're 40% up, which is great. In Fisker, that's doing really well. Just move my face quickly because I'm going to get in the way otherwise. Next EV stock we've got is, that can't be the next one. That can't be the case. Okay, so as of right now, one of my last videos where we reviewed these EV stocks, most of them, I'd say 60-70% of them were up. As it stands right now, unless I'm missing one, which I don't think I am, NIO is just up by 1%, and that's only on today. So that's only because of today. So it's just followed suit on what Tesla's been doing. Well, I don't know. It could have its own news. I've not looked into it. That's not the point of this video. But we had a massive sell-off, huge sell-off in NIO, and it's only come back up today. So if I made this video yesterday, they would all be down. Every single one of them, apart from Fisker, which wouldn't still be down. So we've had a bit of a rally on Fisker more recently and a small dip. That would be the only one of the 10 that wouldn't be down from when I bought them in late December. So moving on to the next one. So we've got NIO, then we've got Nikola. So 8 shares in Nikola. It's currently trading around $16, and we are 3.5% down in Nikola. Electromechanica, 21 shares in that. We're currently trading at 580. We are nearly 10% down in that. Lordstown Motors, 7 shares of Lordstown, currently trading at $17.50. We're around 10% down in that. Candy, so all these ones are just sitting at the bottom here. Candy, 16 shares in Candy, 664 roughly, and we're just over 15% down in Candy. Harley-on Holdings, we are 18% down in that. We hold 8 shares at $13.80. Workhorse, 6 shares in Workhorse at $16.70-ish. We're 22% down in that. Li Auto, we're 4 shares in Li Auto. We're trading at $23.24, and we're 25% down in Li Auto. And XPeng is nearly 37% down. 2 shares in XPeng. We're currently trading at $30. Let's have a quick look at XPeng. So that hasn't made any recovery more recently, and it's just gone down. So that's an overview of them. Of the 10 that I bought back in December as an experiment, after the first month and a bit, 60-70% of them were up by a reasonable amount. Since then, it's been about 5-6 weeks, been about 6 weeks since I last did a EV stock update, and all but one of them, and I'm going to count all but one, NIO is technically up, but only because of today, all but one of them were down. So these are highly volatile stocks, highly volatile. Probably great stocks to trade if you're an intraday trader on a leveraged account, loads of movement in them, long-term plays. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're doing. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm in Tesla. I bought Tesla super cheap. I will sit in Tesla. I didn't think it really warranted the up to nearly $900. share valuation that it had more recently. I'm not going to be buying into any more EV stocks, I don't think, but let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're getting into. You're going to jump into some NEO right now? Is it too late to jump into Tesla? Are you going to jump into some, I don't know, Candy, electromechanical, whatever it might be, or EV related stocks like Charging Point and bits and pieces like that? So let me know. So there we go, loads of red. We probably will see, I imagine we'll probably see a bit of a bounce back, but let me know your thoughts on whether you thought the EV space was literally just a bit of a bubble and that bubble has just burst. I think they're here for the long run, so I think you're probably safe enough if you've got your money in one of them, but don't know, be interesting to see what happens in the future. I'm gonna wrap that video up there because it was probably a bit of a longer one, certainly when we're going through the portfolio, although I'll try and make it as brief as possible. So subscribe to the video and like the video. Certainly if you've made it this far, you're obviously enjoying it, so you won't miss out on any future content, and make sure you like the video because that really helps out the channel. Comment below what your thoughts are, what your plan is moving forward. Are you going to get into Tesla now? Is now the time to jump in? Are you going to get into NEO? What EV stock are you looking at? And I will catch you guys in the next video. See you later.